Coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this week is I Saw the Light. It's the biopic of country legend Hank Williams. Tom Hiddleston stars in the movie, but another important role is the executive music producer of the film. That's Rodney Crowell. He's a Grammy Award winner and member of the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, among many other titles. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Rodney.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Good. Excited to have you on the show this morning. I got a chance to see the movie this weekend. Thought it was fantastic. How important was this, Rodney, to get this character, to get Hank Williams, to get this part right?
Well, you know, from my perspective, very important, because Hank Williams was a cultural icon that maybe, you know, generations now don't really understand the importance in post-war Southern culture, and even up into the North. Based on the swing era and in the late 30s and early 40s, young people like to get out and dance and like to go into clubs and honky-tonks, we call them in the South. And Hank Williams created the soundtrack for that culture, and he was indeed a superstar, like a Bruce Springsteen in the South. And one of the important things about the story, his story, is that he recorded from 1947 to 1952 and died tragically at the age of 29 from an accidental overdose. And but he left a wonderful legacy, and we wanted to get that across on the screen.
Well, and I think you did, and I think what was so interesting too is to be such an icon that he was. He did that without social media. He did that to be, you know, to become such a fast-rising star back in that day. That was a whole new ball game, I'd imagine, in doing that in that era, correct?
Well, radio was really important, and his songs were all over the radio. And you know, as a 4-year-old kid, I learned to operate a little record player, and you know, I would sit on the floor with Hank Williams 78s and listen to him, seemed like all day long, because the music was so fresh, and I was caught up in it, and it was energizing. It was actually, I've talked to Tom Hiddleston about this, who plays Hank Williams in the movie. I said, you know, Hank Williams was a rock and roll star, and some of his early recordings, like Honky Tonk Blues, were really rock and roll recordings. And I say, you know, we wouldn't have the Rolling Stones version of Honky Tonk Women if they hadn't heard the original Honky Tonk Blues. So his influence has gone on for a good long while.
Well, and talk about your influence with this film. What was your part, and what was kind of your role in making sure this film was correct and it was accurate? Kind of talk about what part you played in putting this together.
My part in the film was to pre-record all of the music and to make it as authentic and stylistically as close to the original recordings as we could. And we came very close, and Tom Hiddleston is the actor who played Hank Williams. And Tom is an Englishman, a classically trained actor who done Shakespeare on stage and is classically educated at Cambridge, a very smart young man. And he came over and stayed at my house, where I have a recording studio, and we spent 5.5 weeks pre-recording the music. And while we were doing that, and as he worked day in and day out to master that Hank Williams yodeling moan, at the same time he had a dialect coach that would grab him as soon as I got through with him, and then he would, you know, late into the night, he would work on the script and work on his character. So you couldn't find a more dedicated actor than Tom Hiddleston, and the work that he put into it is on the screen.
Well, the hard work paid off. It's fantastic. As we close, just a couple seconds left, why should people go see this?
I think people should go see it to put Hank Williams' legacy into historical perspective. I think that's something that the writer-director Mark Abraham really worked hard on and was very conscientious, and it's on the screen.
It is. Rodney, again, thank you so much for taking some time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
You betcha.